Mrs. Franklin. All cleaning, Mrs. Franklin. Can I get a bottle of whiskey?
Having a social, are we?
Not exactly.
Nice. Throwing drinking parties while our boys are overseas, getting killed by the thousands.
Something wrong, Mrs. Franklin?
Yes, you're in my way.
We got the telegram last week. Our son Charlie's missing in action.
Oh, no. Does she have anyone else?
She won't let anyone near her. Sarah Cartwright brought her a casserole. She threw it.
I can't tell you how sorry I am, Mrs. Franklin.
I just washed that floor.
Do you have anyone you could stay with?
I don't rely on others.
Here.
I don't have time for highballs and chit-chat, Mr. Hobson. I have a position in Vanderhoof. People expect things of me. I have a store to run. I don't mind the bookkeeping, or the ordering, or the inventory. It's the people I can't stand. 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. Nothing but complaints. I had offers to sell. The only reason I said no is Charlie told me he'd like to take over someday.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I sent him 2 pounds of his favorite fudge last month. Do you think he got it?
Richmond P. Hobson Jr., Panhandle Phillips, and Gloria McIntosh Hobson were real people. And for a short period of time, in the wilderness halfway between Vancouver and the Yukon, they worked to carve out the largest cattle ranch in the world. That part is true.
This might help.
Where am I?
A couple hours from Chitanning Lake.
Oh, where's that?
About a day or so from Vanderhoof.
You kidnapped me?
No, I wouldn't put it that way.
You drugged and kidnapped me.
No, you're in no condition to reason with. You need solace, and there's company at the home ranch.
Take me back.
You need a rest.
I need a bicarbonate of soda.
You won't hear any news from Charlie for at least a couple of weeks, so in the meantime, you come stay with us.
What about my store?
Jimmy Chan's taking care of it.
The outside windows need washing. I didn't start it in on the back room.
That's not what's important right now, Mrs. Franklin. Is it?
Okay, now, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Push!
Yeah!
Rich?
Gloria?
Mr. Hobson, we could stop here.
Mrs. Franklin?
Mrs. Hobson, could you direct me to...
What have you done?
What have you done?
Oh, her son's missing in action.
Where?
Somewhere in France.
Does that mean he's dead?
No, not necessarily.
Is there anything we can do to help Harriet?
Well, I was hoping Pan could talk to her.
Of course.
You can trust me. We're old friends.
That bull has to be in Bella Coola for the 15th, or I lose my job.
You'll be done with our cows long before then.
This is a $10,000 animal. Four-time Northwest Hereford champion. He sired 6 champion cows.
Well, sounds like he needs a vacation. Fresh mountain air, all the feminine companionship he can handle. Your owner won't know his own bull.
His grain has to be dampened, and he feeds best on a Timothy mixture.
Well, he's never tasted Sweetwater bunch grass.
This isn't one of your backwoods scrub bulls. This is a blue-blooded prize.
Here comes your payment. Rich, give Alphonse his whiskey.
Hey, Alphonse. I can't.
We agreed on a bottle.
You got it, didn't you?
Well, sure I did.
Hand it over.
You said 20 bucks, 2 pack frames, and a bottle of whiskey.
And you'll get it. Just as soon as we get this matter sorted out.
I'll be back this way in 2 days. If I don't get my whiskey, you don't get Stepan Domenio Hasford.
Stefan de what?
The bull.
Oh, right.
What part about our plan did you not understand? We watch the animal for a spell. We get a pregnant herd. LaRue gets a secret bender. All you have to do is provide the ingredients.
Harriet Franklin drank it.
What if Franklin doesn't drink?
Oh, yeah? Come see for yourself. I brought her back with me.
What in thunder and heaven did you do that for?
Charlie's missing in action.
Oh, gee. That'll tear him, too.
She didn't have anyone. So I figured you could talk to her.
Well, our association has never depended a whole lot upon conversation.
I know it's not as civilized as Vanderhoof, but at least it's a change, and it'll help you get your mind off.
What is this?
I've wanted to build an addition for ages, and nothing ever got done, so I guess you can say I forced the issue. I'm so sorry about Charlie.
Could I bother you for a towel? This is filthy.
Pan wipes his boots on them when I'm not looking.
I'm just gathering my thoughts. Mrs. Franklin, I think I speak for all of us when I say how deeply sorry I am to hear of the report on Charlie. If there is anything we can do, say the word, and we'll accommodate.
Mr. Phillips, you're tracking dirt.
Tommy, would you please pass the potatoes?
You weren't planning on eating with those hands.
No, I was just gonna use my fork.
Go and wash.
But I already...
Tommy.
Mosquitoes are awfully bad tonight.
Must be all the rain we've been having.
Maybe there's a hole somewhere.
You're right. fix it.
Pan, would you be so kind as to lead us in a word of grace? And let's not forget blessings and concerns.
Dear Lord, we pray for Charlie's safe return. And bless this food in our stomachs. They're going to have to digest it. Amen.
You're not covering that hole.
Gloria will be eaten alive.
So build the addition. If this hole is covered, you'll keep finding something else to do. This makes it a priority.
It is a priority.
Then maybe Pam will stop finding excuses for you.
But we have to breed the bull.
I can wait.
We'll be eaten alive.
So will Pam. Harriet thinks we're crazy.
She's right.
Poor woman. Can't imagine what that would feel like, thinking you've lost a child.
Well, hopefully Pan can talk to her.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
Now. It ain't nice to criticize a man behind his back.
Bunkhouse is that away.
Oh, come on, Gloria.
You can use my side, Mrs. Franklin. I'll sleep in the barn.
Oh, I won't hear of it. Unhygienic. You'll sleep in here with me.
Mrs. Franklin, I just want to say that I think your son is a hero, and I wish I was over there fighting the Jerrys, too.
Fighting? More likely lying face down in the mud on a battlefield.
Charlie would not want to hear you talking like that, Harriet.
Charlie never should have enlisted.
You couldn't have stopped him. All the boys wanted to go.
Because men tell boys it's brave to fight. But if men had to carry those boys in their wombs, or nurse them at their breasts, or hold them in their arms when they cry.
Harriet.
And you're as bad as any of them. Acting like the world is one big boy's own adventure while children are being sent like lambs to the slaughter.
I'm not sure what to say to her.
You're scared of her.
No, I am merely suggesting that she may be better off in more familiar surroundings.
She wasn't better off, was she? That's why I brought her here.
Why don't you just ask her what she wants?
Yeah, go ask her.
Me? She's your friend.
Well, you brought her back here.
You're both scared. Fine. I'll do it.
When were these last cleaned?
Mrs. Franklin,
The bunkhouse is a pigsty. The ranch house is thick with bugs. And I don't know what it was you were trying to serve at dinner.
I realize it was not your choice to come here. If you'd like to leave, I can have Ed take you first thing in the morning.
Leave? Oh, my goodness, no. I couldn't possibly leave.
Why not?
I have a job to do. Someone's got to teach you how to run this ranch.
We don't usually heat the stove before dawn.
You need the cabin nice and warm if you want your bread dough to rise.
Seems quite warm already.
You don't have a wall, you lose a lot of heat.
How goes the cooking lesson?
Slowly. What Mrs. Hobson doesn't know would fill Pear's cyclopedia.
And what she does know, we pray she'll forget.
So, you sure you want to do this?
Harriet can be a little blunt.
Yeah, as a dull axe. particularly when she's under a strain.
She needs to find a way to forget her sorrows. I'm happy to provide that diversion.
Well, at least until Pam figures out how to talk to her.
Tell me, what is so scary about a woman's emotions?
Harder. Don't stop.
My arms feel like rubber.
Good. Next they'll feel numb, and when you can't feel them at all, you'll know you're done.
Rise and shine, Stefan. This is where the fun starts.
He's not moving.
Poke him.
What?
You know, with a stick.
You poke him.
Well, then who'd rescue you?
Okay, Stefan.
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 Hey, Stefan, you big lump of lard! You great bovine sissy! Get to work at your pot roast!
You could have warned me.
Maybe I will dampen his feed.
This place looks like it hasn't been cleaned since it was built.
I try to keep up, but there simply aren't enough hours in the day.
Enough to punch holes in walls. Have you cleaned out the bunkhouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Washed all the sheets?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Weed the garden. Is that the tarp?
Yes, ma'am.
About time. Start covering up the wall.
Oh, no. No. No, if we cover it, then the men will have no incentive to build my addition.
That sounds like blackmail.
Mrs. Franklin, I realize that that may be an unorthodox approach, but I can assure you it's warranted. The wall stays open.
Hello to the house. Your next installment.
Good. I just finished the last batch.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Franklin. I heard you were visiting.
What have we here? Cookbooks? Almanacs? Novels. Thank you, Mr. Mowat, but a good ranch wife has no time to read fiction.
But surely you'll agree that a well-read mind is a well-rounded one.
Cows, cooking, cleaning, that's all you need to worry your mind about.
I'm telling you, you're Stefan Domino.
Dominio.
is a dud.
He's a proven breeder. We'll change his feed. He'll rise to the occasion.
Yeah, well, he better. Otherwise, we won't have any calves come springtime.
Hey, you smell something?
Smells like cooking.
Good cooking. Yeah! I knew there was a catch.
Oh, more beans, please.
More potatoes?
Ah, me too, me too.
Goodness, you'd think you hadn't eaten for months.
Anyone for bread?
I'll have a piece.
How's it going with the bull?
Seems to be lacking inspiration.
Perhaps he's impotent. Pigs often get impotent for a number of reasons.
Nobody's interested in your medical history, Rupert.
Illness, fatigue, general malaise. Spotted Dick! Oh, I haven't had Spotted Dick since I left the old country. Whatever did you learn?
My late husband was from Yorkshire.
Toad in the hole.
The parson's nose.
Bubble and squeak.
Come back tomorrow evening, Mr. Mowat. I'll make an entirely British meal.
She made the kids put up the tarp while I was out.
Oh, it's not so bad. She's just trying to help.
What makes you think I need it?
Well, I don't. I just meant that, well, she's in shock, you know.
I can understand that. What I can't stand is when people go behind my back.
Mm-hmm. I'll talk to Pan in the morning.
Women are just better at giving comfort. That's all there is to it.
You just spent the last 2 years enjoying Harriet's favors. You owe her.
I deal fair, Ridge. It was a mutually beneficial association.
You see, now that's where your thinking is wrong, friend. A woman is supposed to be a partner, not half of some cattle trade.
Well, it's worked so far.
You gonna talk to her or not?
Maybe. But not right now.
Why not?
We got a problem with Stefan.
Looks like your prize bull blowed it up like a hot air balloon.
Take him into the barn and stick some linseed oil into him. It's probably just gas.
Better be.
You haven't taken out the innards.
What innards?
For heaven's sake, I'll do it. You wouldn't know a roasting pan from a chamber pot.
Kid, will you excuse us? Harriet, I appreciate that you're trying to help, but I won't have you scolding me in front of the hands. It undermines my authority.
Respect is earned. You don't know a thing about running a ranch.
I've done it for a year.
The men do everything.
I pull my weight.
No. All you do is make more work.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
It's the truth.
You want the truth? Here's the truth. We've been tiptoeing around you, trying to be nice, and all you've done is criticize and insult me and make us all miserable.
I never asked for your help. And I certainly don't need your pity. Mr. Mowat?
I hope you won't think me presumptuous, but I come bearing gifts.
A ham hock.
Yes, and homemade pork sausages.
Mr. Mowat's back. He looks different.
I think he washed.
Why is he bowing?
He's being polite.
Why did he bring her that stuff?
He's being neighborly. Oh, my heavens.
What?
Rupert Mowat is courting the widow Franklin.
Downright wasteful, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Itcha Mountain Special Reserve. Aged since the anniversary of the founding of the Frontier Cattle Company.
Well, that'd be about 22 days. Don't look much like whiskey, does it?
Well, it will once we add the coloring.
Wait a minute. That's kerosene.
Top quality.
Yeah, but LaRue's gonna taste it.
Just the first few sip.
Was it something she said?
course not.
Oh,
Have you been drinking?
of course not. Something wrong, Gloria?
Nothing's wrong. I yelled at her.
You yelled at Harriet?
I yelled at a woman who's sick with grief. I mean, I wanted to help her, but she didn't want my help, and I can't stand her. Thought I could do this at least.
At least.
Look, I know I'm not the greatest ranch wife.
You're doing fine. At least you got all the right instincts. Look, this shouldn't have fallen on you. If Pan would just talk to her.
I don't think Harriet's lacking for male companionship.
Milk and sugar?
Please.
Rupert.
Tell me I'm crazy. I think he's courting her.
I see a rosy glimmer in your cheeks today that was sadly lacking before.
I'm flush from the stove, Mr. Maude.
You're crazy.
Good. Because if they married, she'd be our closest neighbor. Oh.
What's wrong with him?
Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with him. He's tuckered out.
He was up all night.
And we do mean up. That beast was astonishing to behold.
As long as his well don't run dry.
Impossible. Oh, and here's your whiskey, as promised.
One for the road.
Oh, no. No. We don't allow drinking on our ranch.
It would corrupt the morals of our young hands.
Well, whatever. Yeah, I'll see you in a few more days then.
You can stay for supper.
Let's hope we're not having bull.
Oh, bliss. Steak and kidney pie.
Moose steak. May be a bit gamey.
Well, I'm game if you are.
Finally get some decent cooking around here, and that porcine swine peddler shows up to take a man's appetite.
You think that's what he's here for, the cooking?
Of course, the man's a professional freeloader.
He's courting her.
Who?
Harriet.
Now, that's the funniest thing I've heard since that porcupine snuck into Al Jordan's outhouse. Who'd marry Rupert?
Who'd marry Harriet?
Now, wait a minute. Harriet is a talented woman.
Well, I'm sure she is, but there's more to marriage than good cooking.
Who's talking about cooking?
Oh, Mr. Toad is coming out of his hole. Oh!
Now, here's what's gonna happen, gentlemen. Rupert's gonna volunteer with the dishes.
No, he won't. Spoil his reputation as a freeloader.
Could I help you with the washing up, Mrs. Franklin?
Thank you, Mr. Maude.
Now he'll lean in and touch her arm. He'll leave it there just a moment too long. Now he'll apologize and give a little laugh.
I beg your pardon.
Now she'll smile and brush the hair off of her forehead.
She's right. He's courting her.
Oh!
Stefan. Linseed oil.
Hey, how's Stefan doing?
Oh, Stefan is fine. It's other elements we got to worry about.
Like what?
Country's filling up, and not for the better. Lumberjacks and pig farmers.
Pig farmers.
Scoundrels. Men who'd stake a claim where another man's already grazing.
Well, not just because you're grazing there don't mean you own it.
We had an understanding.
Yes, but you didn't claim the territory.
I was there first.
But you didn't do anything to protect it now, did you?
Well, didn't think I had to.
Harriet's vulnerable right now. Certainly deserves better than the likes of Rupert Mowat.
Darn tootin'.
So why don't you talk to her?
What is it?
It's a whipsaw frame. See, the saw goes in here, and, Ed built it. He's got a knack for building.
Hope it doesn't go to waste.
Missing doesn't mean gone.
Like the HMS Glorious? 1,500 men missing? 1,500 dead.
I remember three summers ago, Andy Holt and I went sturgeon fishing on the Blackwater. Charlie came.
Just turned 16.
Monster of a fish. Took his bait and shot straight up for the surface, started tail spinning. 400-pound fish, jumping and spooking and spinning across the water. Well, we said he'd never landed. But Charlie was determined. Took him till dawn. But he brought it in.
We ate smoked sturgeon for months.
Yeah, he didn't give up. Don't you give up either.
When he was a boy, I bandaged his knees when he fell. I sang to him when he was scared. He's still my little boy, and there's not a thing I can do for him.
I can hope.
I'm too tired to hope.
Well, maybe you should sit down. Rest. Lean in. I'll hold you up.
You can estimate the weight of the sow by measuring the circumference of the girth, the length of the back.
Good night, Rupert.
Well, I was hoping Mrs. Franklin to bed. Well, I won't keep you then.
No, you won't.
No need to push.
You stay away from Harriet Franklin or I'll hit you so hard you'll wake up in Saskatchewan.
Hey! Barbarian! If you could just tell her.
Out! And if I catch you back here again, I'll hang you in your own smokehouse.
Well, that was very restrained.
I had no idea you were so chivalrous.
Ain't chivalry. It's common decency. There is no way on God's green earth that I'm going to let Harriet Franklin get suckered into marrying that man.
And how are you planning on stopping her?
I'll marry her myself.
It's not so bad. I know. Han and Harriet can take the ranch house, and you and I'll move to Batnumi.
It's a 2-day ride from here.
You think it's too close?
Gloria, we don't have enough hands to run one ranch, let alone 2.
You know what that porch needs? Good coat of whitewash.
I hear Batnuni is beautiful in the spring.
I'll talk to Pat.
Like you talked to him yesterday?
Well, all I said is you should protect his claim. I didn't know he was gonna...
Claim? Is that what you call it?
Turn of phrase.
Talk to him again.
So have you thought this through?
Of course. As soon as we find out about Charlie, we can go to the preacher in Vanderhoof.
So you'll live in Vanderhoof then?
Of course not. Aaron will run the store, I'll stay on the ranch, same as always. Except this time, my visiting rights are assured.
Boy, that Mr. Mowich sure does like it here.
You saw him?
By the barn.
Stay put. And whatever you do, don't leave Harriet alone with Rupert. Harriet! Harriet, come quick. I saw cobwebs on the ceiling of the bunkhouse.
I told Kit to sweep the ceiling.
Straight down here.
You said the bunkhouse.
Did I? I meant the barn.
Good morning, Mrs. Hobson, Mrs. Franklin. Or, may I call you Harriet?
Mrs. Hobson! It's the ball!
What? Come on.
He was fine this morning, and then he just started puffing up again.
He might be a chronic bloater. I suffer from the same condition myself on occasion. But at least I know it won't kill me.
You could kill him?
Oh, yes. Quite quickly, in fact.
Ed, go get Rich and Pan.
So, Harriet would stay in town and you'd live out here.
Exactly.
You may recall I suggested that idea to Gloria.
Well, Harriet's not like Gloria.
Well, you're right. Harriet's definitely the type of woman to take orders. Of course, you know there'd be definite advantages to having her out here permanently. Clean home, good food, constant companionship. Hey, she may even take up riding. Accompany you on all them dusty trails.
I know what you're doing, friend. And you can save your breath. My mind's made up.
How? You went from an understanding to engagement in less than an hour.
Well, I was talking to Harriet. I was sitting with Harriet. And I started to have these feelings.
Oh?
Other kinds of feelings.
Does Harriet share these same feelings?
Of course she does. You think she'd pick Rupert when she could have me?
Mr. Hobson! Mr. Hobson, the bull's in a bad way.
You might have to tap him.
Tap him?
Yes, you let the trapped gas out of his stomach by inserting a long, sharp instrument through the skin. I've heard that a truck tire valve works the best. It releases the air.
Would you do it?
Not on your life. That bull's worth my entire pig farm.
He's blowing up something awful.
Do we have one of those valves around, a truck valve?
First, we need a truck.
You're not thinking.
What choice do I have?
You can wait for the men.
There isn't time. He might die.
You don't know what you're doing.
Maybe not. But sometimes you have to go ahead and just try. Can you understand that? No good. Wedding gift? Useless. I know. A knitting needle.
You don't knit.
Tommy, do you have a knife? Quickly. Yes.
Wait.
Harriet, please.
That's too wide. Try this.
Mrs. Franklin? Should we do something with Mrs. Hobson's doll?
It's risen.
Can't you stand at his head? Rupert?
Where's Harriet?
In the house. You can't go.
I've told you all I know.
But where does the blade go in?
Behind the ribs, high on the side, below the backbone. Make sure it's on the left side.
Why?
Because if you do it on the right, you could kill him.
His left side? Or our left side?
Very good, Tommy. You have a knack.
Mrs. Franklin,
Yes.
ordinarily I wouldn't presume, but Pan has forced my hand. Could we have some privacy? Privacy.
This is a crucial phase.
True. You're at a crossroads in life, such that a more, shall we say, reclusive existence might have some appeal. And I can offer you a good deal of financial security. The accounts are in order. There is income from the sale of my pigs, as well as my quarterly remittance.
Are you proposing marriage?
Indeed, madam. I am.
What in tarnation are you doing?
Tapping him.
Who told you to do that?
Rupert.
Rupert? Where's Harriet?
She's in the ranch house. Pat!
Oh, you look to be doing fine. Just wait a couple seconds before you pull it out.
You might want to...
Where is Rupert?
He left after Mrs. Franklin said
Hush, Tommy.
I'll go wash these berries.
That pig farmer proposed to you?
Does that surprise you?
He's capable of anything. What did you say?
Rupert is a decent man.
What did you say?
I said no. I won't marry without passion.
Is that enough passion for you?
Yes.
What is this?
Sweetwater bunch grass, amongst other things.
Sure does stink.
Well, there you go. See, you've got the right instincts. You just saved the ranch.
The ranch?
Yeah. That bull you just stuck a knife into is worth $10,000. Well, according to Pan, anyway.
Pan! He just went after Harriet.
Well, the least you could do is make a little noise before you come barging in here.
It's all right, Pan. We should tell her.
And it's settled?
Yes.
Well then, congratulations. Rich, Pan and Harriet are going to be married.
Says who?
I thought...
Pan is taking me back to Vanderhoof tomorrow morning. He has a cousin with the Red Cross. I'm going to wire him about Charlie. I couldn't stand by waiting any longer. I had to do something.
So she turned you down then?
More's the pity.
Good luck to you, Mrs. Franklin.
Good luck to you, Mrs. Hobson. You may not have much talent, but you do have perseverance.
Don't be a stranger. You're welcome anytime.
Tell me you didn't mean that.
Not a word.